is being kind to one another today. That's the main thing that I want to talk about. We have the power. We have the power to change every condition in our life, every single thing that is going on in our lives. We have the power. God gave us the power. And we'll pull it out the book. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessings and cursings. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Now, if we're walking around here and we're claiming Psalms that we are God's, we should condone ourselves as one. We should walk in sovereignty and peace with one another. But we don't. We follow the guidelines of a world that is already set us up to not even know who we are. I was thinking today, and in the first chapter in the book, Genesis, it says God created heaven and earth. So that made me ponder, who is creating hell? Because everything God created was good and good for us and works together for our good. But who are the people creating hell? Because our words come to life. Who are the people cursing each other out and damning each other? It's only us. And so then when you realize it's only us doing it to one another, you can't even put as the people say, you can't even put the devil in it unless you want to go on and claim your throne. Why do we walk around and be hellions? I apologize. Why do we walk around here and be hellions? When the power of everything is our tongue. Even when you read the Bible and you start in Genesis and it tells you that God created heaven and earth, how did that come until much later on? How did hell become so? Because we got further and further away from our truest nature. We got further away from the revelation of who we truly are. We got taught things like a devil. We got taught things like hell. The only hell is the hell that we create here. Ask yourself this question. Why would you think the creator would create a place? Think of you, create you, put you here for such a time as this, and then say, I'm going to create a hell to put you in and forever torment you. That makes no sense. When God has said, I love you unconditionally. Unconditionally, wherever you are, I am. And that's even when you're speaking hellfire from your mouth, as James would say. Your words will become life. And it's in the power of your tongue that you leash madness on yourself. I don't know how this is going to get done. Or, girl, there's so much going on in my life because, and you constantly talking about whatever your situation is. You should count it all joy because you spoke it into existence. I want us to be mindful of the power of our words and be not so consumed with the things going on in the world because we are the makers of this place right here. We would rather argue, fuss, and fight than to find a common ground. We would rather walk in ego to prove ourselves to another than to walk in peace and sovereignty. These are choices, and that's all it is. That's what free will is, a choice, a decision to be lifted up in your consciousness, to become aware that it has been me the whole time, to notice these things for yourself and really understand this book. It's not literally speaking to us. It is so much more in this book than mere words. Let us understand the power that was vested in us. At birth, we were sanctified in our mother's wombs. Jesus came and said, well, is it not written in your scriptures that ye are gods? And then he spoke to us in parables to let us know that it was us. Well, the priest and the political people didn't like it. No one liked the fact that he came to tell the people to set the captives free, that there is no rule. You rule. You rule over your own conduct, over your own actions. Be the ruler of yourself, not to project what you feel or deem someone else should do, but constantly being aware of who you are. Is what that book tells us. And if we focused on the words that Jesus said and how Jesus spoke in oneness. He told us everything was connected. There is mass psychosis. I'm not going to be on here long. The question that I want to pose to you today: what if you've read the book wrong? What if you've been taught by people that leaned into their own understanding because they have their own motives? What if all things are possible and God is not a limited God? We have our own conceptions of a God in a sky, in heaven, when heaven is your home. And then you're waiting to get home to put on your robe and your wings when it's essential for you to do that right here and right now. Because we believe in things that don't even exist, we tend not to believe in ourselves. Well, that's where all the power is, within. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. The Word still is God. And I'm not talking about in a book. Do not be confused because of ill teachings, teachings of deception. And I keep saying, it's nobody to blame about it because they were born into families that believed in religion. And I believe in it if it's being taught properly. If the people are really truly being taught who they are, not to pray to something outside of them, not to beg and grumble, I'll go for it. But at this point, throw it all away. Trash. And I said it out loud. That's just my feelings. Now, can you pull some good stuff out of this book? Of course. But then why do your leaders choose to pull out the worst? Why do your leaders, and then I talk to so many people that say, well, I know God is with me, but what? You would prefer for somebody to lead you to slaughter than to pick up the book for yourself. Most people that are religious open their book on Sunday and read that verse. And they go home, got the word. But was it the word or man's word? And how would they know? Because they wouldn't open it up and study it for themselves. Then you have people that do open it up and study it for themselves. Have every dictionary possible to man. Read all sorts of history to understand the dialect of the times. And they still miss the boat. And then it leads me to believe that consciousness is everywhere, in both heaven and hell. It resides where you abide, within your mind. It does not complain, does not get tired, and it always forgives. So, Karma, thank you for being here. May we reap what we sow. and it shall come to pass. For it is the will of the Lord that it do so. For we don't know what we're doing. How can you know what you're doing and you don't even know who you are? How can you stand on a word that you really don't even understand? You know how many people I know can quote a scripture like it's nothing, like nothing. Couldn't give you the meaning of it for nothing either. Or how many people that know certain scriptures. Oh, but there's so many more to know. So those are people that use the word sorcery. Because the Bible, Jesus says to work your words. So you got to be mindful of how people work their words over you. They'll take you anywhere. I love us. And that's why I do these videos, because I truly love us. I do these videos to get us to think that if it was a possibility for things to change, and the possibility of the change could start with me, why would I not look into that? There are so many people waiting, or in a hospital waiting room for somebody to come save them when they have all the ability to do it right now for themselves. That's what life is. Learning. Place where we come to learn how to get along. A place where we have to go through these contracts, spiritual contracts. That's why you meet people at certain times and, oh, this is divine. Time and order. God always send you what you need when you need it. Oh, yeah. And here we come with a lesson. Some lessons we go out and we seek. We on the prowl because we praying. We go out and we pray on one another. Some lessons we go out to find. And some lessons come to us because it's a give and take. Like breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Remember who we are. We were created for such a time as this. Thought about for such a time as this. The question to say is, what am I being an instrument for? Am I here to raise the temples? Excuse me. Am I here to lift up the kingdom? Or am I here to destroy the kingdom? Some people call it conspiracy. Call it what you want to call it. Question is, could it be true? And what would be the reason to be misleading to this many people? Could it be greed? Notice it's only 12 or 13 families that are elite. Money going to sleep. And everything that's going on in the news, watch where the money going. Watch who's making the money from Corona. Watch who's making money from these things. Watch where the money go. What banks it go to? What banks have the most money? Those are questions, things that people should ask to be mindful and to be abreast. That's why we are to seek knowledge for ourselves. No one is supposed to pour into us anything. It is our responsibility to ourselves to seek it for ourselves. Not to listen, because you don't have to believe nothing I'm saying. At the end of the day, all you have to do is begin to research. The same thing that was going on when this Bible was written is the same exact thing that was going on right now. And then it takes people that understand a oneness consciousness, who were created by one, and we exist as one. All things together in a beautifully orchestrated life. But we're so confused in it because we have too many characters. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Mm. Oh, baby, I don't know what you're doing. I apologize. My computer did what it wanted to do just then. But we have too many characters in the story. There was only God. There is only God right now. All of us made in the image of God. All of us carry the power of God. All of us given dominion from God. And the next two things are love and a sound mind. Are we really loving? Because if we go into the word love, it's many dimensions and fragments of what love is. What is love? It's a good love, that harmonious love. And then we have that disillusional love. You know, you hear people say things like, love is pain or love hurts. That the love does not hurt. Depending on the dimension of love that you're in. It will make you grow closer to loving yourself than anything else. Because that thing that you lack within you, or you may not even realize it's a lack inside of you, or a feeling of lack inside of you. So then that's what the universe will bring unto you, the thing that you say you lack, because you're not whole, created whole. Though we have been tossed and toiled in life, we're still whole. It's no more than a decision to know that. If you can look in a mirror and see everything wrong with you, that means you're not looking in the mirror the way God looks at you. Adored. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing. Love you like the first time he thought of you. Stop tearing yourself down. Not only stop tearing yourself down, stop tearing other people down. Begin to love yourself completely just as you are. As you begin to pour that love into you, you will be able to pour that love into others. We say it all the time. Oh, you can't love nobody till you love yourself. So then your actions should speak louder than your words. If you can look at another human being that you don't even know and, and have something to say, that's how you feel about yourself. That's how you look at yourself in the mirror. That's hard but true. If you don't see the beauty in another human being, that's what's going on inside of you. You don't see the beauty within yourself. Bully mentality. With a grungeful heart for yourself. Feel incomplete. Always looking out at the world to see what somebody else is doing and what somebody else looks like. And going to get everything that you can possibly get to get that look. Because that's what society says. It's the look. You're not pleased with yourself. Cutting yourselves up. Injecting stuff in your bodies. To be pleasing in your own sight. Then you do all that, and what happens? You get used. Because that's how you saw yourself. As incomplete. Not good enough. Not sexy enough. Not beautiful enough. So then you alter everything to be pleasing. Let me tell you about this right here, this face. In 2000, maybe 17 or either 18, the day after Christmas, I woke up with Bell's palsy. I don't even know if you know what that is. But I woke up that morning, didn't feel nothing. Went in the bathroom, take my shower, brushing my teeth, and the toothpaste was falling out my mouth. And I'm looking at myself like, what is going on? Why is the toothpaste falling out my mouth? Anyway, go put on my clothes and I go upstairs and I sit on my daughter's bed. And as I'm sitting on the bed, she said, Mama, your face is just sagging. You want to go to the doctor? I said, I don't feel nothing wrong with you. That's me. I don't feel nothing wrong with me. Because, we weren't taught to take care of ourselves. We were taught to suffer like slaves. We still got that slave mentality. Get sick, you won't even go to the doctor. Oh, I'm going to wait a few days, that kind of stuff. Um, anyway, so later on that day, maybe 2 hours later, I went to the doctor. Doctor tells me I have Bell's palsy. Okay. I accept it. There's nothing I can do about it. The reality is I see it. Everybody else see it. Now, I could have stayed in my house behind closed doors and hid from the world. But what sense did that make? Because I knew in the end I was beautiful. I am beautiful, just as I am. Perfectly made. My little clef and all. I'm the cutest little button you ever seen. But that whole ordeal could have taken me into my own mental hell, and I didn't allow it to happen. I would tape my eye up at night because I couldn't even close my eye. I would tape it up at night. Wore a patch, had to start wearing glasses to keep the air from, because I couldn't blink it in. All this kind of stuff, all these complications. And I kept riding that horse. It is what it is. It is what it is. I finally got to the part where I could put on lipstick again and not feel strange. And does it bother me now? No. But I know people can tell. Well, what's going on? Bell's palsy. And I have come a long way from that day one. I think at first it scared my grandkids. Now one eye blinking and the other eye wouldn't blink. When I would eat, food would fall out of my mouth and I would have to eat with a napkin over my mouth to keep the food from falling out. But I did not let it take me into depression. I kept forcing myself to smile because I have a beautiful smile. I was not going to let that take anything from me. When my hair fell out and I wore those wigs and I came on the live and I had my hair cut off in front of everybody, I was not going to let my hair falling out destroy me. I had to come to the realization I'm not my hair. Never have been my hair. My hair has been a part of me and it will come back. So I'm just saying these things because all of those things could have made me an angry person. And I can get angry and cut a muck. But I'm telling you now that I'm consciously aware that my enemy has been my enemy and there's no one to blame but me. to hold ourselves responsible and understand that no one is forcing you to do anything. It's not a gun held to your head. Nobody's forcing us to kill one another. Nobody is forcing us to mistreat one another. No one is forcing us to look down on one another. No one is forcing us to do those things. Those are things that we're choosing to do. So that's it. That's all. Understand that the choices that you make today will come for you later on today or either tomorrow. As soon as the universe constructs it for you, you will experience that thing that you speak. So be mindful of your words, one to another, because what you wish for one comes back unto you. All those hateful words and things that we say over people, it only comes back to us. Return the sender. Another thing, be mindful of what you believe. Everything is given to you according to your belief. You can believe in a candle if you want to. It's your belief. You don't have to really truly go outside of yourself for nothing unless you do not understand how to use your power properly. All of your magic. If you don't know how to properly use it, all this moon magic and stuff. I know, I see us out here. Binding and casting. We busy. Bless us. Have a beautiful night. Begin to think for yourself and ask God these truths.